Hi there. So today, a question that comes up so often is a question that I used to ask myself a lot, and I'd like to pretend I don't still ask it, but I do. So I hope this is going to be helpful for you and for me. And the question is, why do I get so angry and what can I do about it? Now, this is probably not going to go in a direction that you might be expecting, although if you've watched some more of my and listened to some more of my content, and you maybe will get where this is going to go. So, the word triggered, let's start with that word triggered because that is a word that we use, isn't it, all the time? We say, I've been triggered by someone's behavior or someone's words or someone's message or whatever. And we say that, and that triggering word sounds, doesn't it, like it's coming from the outside in. I'm angry because they triggered me. And that is something that's just spoken about as if it's true, isn't it? And it comes up a lot, I think, in the self development world these days, that word triggered. They triggered me. That what can I do when I'm triggered? And what do I do when when I get so hungry? Why do I get so angry? Now, when I use the word trigger, I'm talking about an inner thing, as you might have guessed, because I talk about something called the three principles, the inside out understanding, and the triggers are not from outside us. They're actually reflecting something within us, that they're not causing our pain. Other people's behavior, words, emails, messages, whatever it is, cannot cause our pain. And it's taken me, I'm it's still taking me a long time to see that in the moment. I just catch it a little sooner. It's a little less painful these days, but still, I find myself lost in moments of it really looking like if that person just could stop doing their ridiculous thing, I could have a better life. I could be happy. I could be happy if they just stopped it. And I actually have found when I remember to ask this question that I'm going to share with you in a moment, that it's had probably the biggest impact of anything really. Because I don't want us to think, I don't want you to think or me to think that we have to do something about it, because I just think that adds layers upon layer of more thinking. If we're angry, it's because we're thinking that the other person is out of order, shouldn't be doing that, etc., etc. It's our thinking that's creating it. So where can we look that's subtractive, that's taking us back a little bit away from all that thinking? And the question that I really love, and I originally learned this question from Clare Downham, who has been through a three principles journey and gone more towards non-duality now. I really do love this question. And the question is, what is my equivalent? Or my lovely friend Michaela Ellis also says, where am I like that? Now, this isn't about then beating yourself up instead of beating up the person. So you could end up in a real layer of many layers of beating yourself up here, couldn't you? So somebody does something and you get angry, and then you say, what's my equivalent? And then you get angry with yourself because you should have seen your equivalent earlier, or, oh my God, I'm like that too, so therefore let's beat myself up. And this is not, no, please don't go there. What's my equivalent, or where am I like that, is not about blaming yourself, but it's about seeing the universality of human beings, seeing that we are all the same, we are all connected, we are all so alike, really. That's one of the things I really love when I go live on Insight Timer. That's one of the things I actually love about that space, is the coming together of people who, somebody will put something in the chat that they're upset with, they're upset with themselves about it, or they don't want to be like that or whatever. And so many other people will then jump onto that message and say, oh, me too, and I will say me too. So often I will say me too. So it's such a powerful question. And it's not about thinking we're awful too. It's just about seeing that everybody's the flipping same. Really, honestly, where have we been the same as that person? Probably to that person in that moment. I spend time, with all sorts of different people, and sometimes I will come home to poor old Bruce, who generally gets the brunt of everything. I'll come home to Bruce and I'll say, do you know that person did this, that said that, behaved like that, I'll be off. And one of the things I really don't like to observe in others is judgment. And the irony of it is that I observe judgment in others, and I have to kind of go, Claire, you're judging the other person right now for judging. So you're doing it too. And it's sometimes it's actually, as you start to ask this question, it becomes easier and easier to see your equivalents, because they're always there. They really are. And it's just, it can become quite more lighthearted, I think, to kind of go, oh God, yeah, me too, me too. And then, anger, rather than being something to fix or get rid of or deal with in some way, can really become a kind of insight doorway to a understanding yourself better, but b understanding the other person better too, and moving away from this need to fix, to retaliate, to do anything in the outside world. Really, it's looking in again, isn't it? Rather than, generally with anger, we look to resolve that in the outside world. We look to if I can just spew out something or reply to that message or whatever it is, then I will, then I'll feel better. And of course, it doesn't work that way. But these questions that we can ask ourselves is almost like self-coaching, really. These questions we can ask ourselves really do help us to go inside and get really curious, and to see, to see that we are all the same, that we really are all doing the best with the thinking that looks real to us in our moment. That's more of a three principles perspective on this. Everybody is a product of thought, consciousness, mind from the three principles. In that moment, behavior we can see is there because of our inner state. And that's the other thing that we can see more and more, is what I've noticed is, as we ask that question more, and as we go, oh yeah, I'm being like that too, and then maybe a little bit of us being like that falls away, you see less of that behavior in the world. I've seen this in some key relationships in my life. And even like day to day with my mood, I've noticed if I'm in a low mood, if I'm in a judgmental mood, if I'm in being a mardy individual, then the other person will look worse to me. They're probably saying exactly the same things, they're probably not doing anything different, but that mood of mine is creating a version of them that's not very pleasant. And so this is all really leading to compassion, isn't it? I would say compassion is probably the antidote to most things, really. But compassion can then sound like something else to do and think about, and how do I be compassionate? But really, when we just start to poke a few holes in things with these little questions, what's my equivalent? Where am I like that too? You can see, or you can just see that you're innocent, they're innocent, everybody's innocent, really. Everybody really is doing the best because that thinking that they have looks real to them. I'll finish this with a little example because I think it might be helpful. So my fiance and I, Bruce, we had a little chat about this, and we said, right, come on, let's just ask what's my equivalent for loads of really itty gritty things that So we started with dog poo on the pavement. Like, what is I was like, well, I don't have a dog and I don't leave poo on the pavement. And I got really like into it. I don't do that. And then I realized that it's about dirtying my environment. When I have a big motorhome and it spews out fumey, horrible stuff into the environment. So yes, I do that. I do put stuff into the environment. It's not very good. That's maybe my equivalent. That's what I kind of noticed. And I just think that wherever in life you can just take the heat out of things with these kind of questions, it's just helpful. It just that curiosity and that sort of, oh yeah, well, that's interesting. What is my equivalent here? Like really kind of asking that question with this real determination to find something. Like, don't ask it in like that. I don't really think I have an equivalent, but I'll ask the question anyway because Claire told me I should ask it. Not that, just really, what? Come on, there is something. There's going to be something, and it's fun to see what things there are. So I hope that's helpful. I hope that is helpful in terms of, why do we get angry? Well, because the world's mirroring our own behavior all the time. And what can we do about it? Well, maybe just ask that question. What's my equivalent? Not to blame yourself, but to get curious about our shared human experience and live life more from a place of love, which I think is what we all want. So take care, lots of love, and I hope you found that really, really helpful. I'll see you next time.